Hey, what's up guys, Trigger Wolf here, and while researching a topic that I wanted to talk about, being Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I came across this forum, this old Christian forum. These posts are from like 10 years ago, and this just goes to show you just how people were thinking about this game back then, at least the Christian people. First and foremost, this first post is just like, well, there's nothing so bad about this game. The worst your kid is going to get is like a paper cut or something. But second post, let's see. Yu-Gi-Oh is a touching subject. No, just don't touch your family. That I have gotten into arguments with my parents about before. My youngest brother and my dad are into it, even though my parents have admitted that they are demonic, yet they keep buying them from my brother. The cards themselves are not demonic. They may be based on dark subjects like the occult and things like that, but they're not inherently evil. Like, I really don't have to explain this because the game's old already and kind of strayed away from that whole thing anyway, so let's move on here. I run an Amazon deck. That's cool. Amazons are fun. Oh, Yugioh, I don't know what that means. Tarot cards are just cards and that could be used as a game. I wouldn't allow my children anything like this Yugioh Satanism stuff. Parents who are serious about raising their kids for Christ need to have a discerning spirit about them to not give them to their games. Take it or leave it. I've seen many demons in my life, and when my son brought some home, a demon was in the same room as the cards. It's called discernment. Did you see the demon? Were they playing with the cards? This post right here is hilarious. He quotes the guy from above that says, I run an Amazon deck, and this guy says, okay, but do you feel comfortable to quote the spells on your cards on this board? I'll quote one for you. Pot of Greed. Draw 2 cards.
Speaking of power, Pot of Greed, what does it do?
Pharaoh, you know what Pot of Greed does. Everyone knows.
Quiet, Yugi. We must learn of their culture.
They are a form of witchcraft? Okay. I gave up trying to make my parents see that because it's just causing a division. Instead, I just gave it over to God and I pray for them and my brothers. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, yeah, that was obviously a quote. Next one, let me see. No, I do not feel comfortable about posting them because it might be a stumbling block for someone who reads the post. Okay, yeah. Plus, I don't want their kids to be informed against their parents' wishes. Okay, wow. So, I'm not going to talk about the game because it'll just show you. It'll just show the kids how not harmful this is. Wow. Quote the spells on your cards. Warning bells go off immediately. Never heard of a game before, but if it means you must use spells, I want no part of it. Be careful, people. We are not supposed to walk on the edge of God's will. You don't use spells. Not a single spell card has a spell on it. The Pot of Greed card simply says draw more cards. But what does it mean? What does Pot of Greed mean? The Dark Hole spell card simply says destroy all monsters on the field. There are no spells, just the name of the cards. This is just a long synopsis. I've read this before. Basically, they're comparing elements of the show, such as friendship, to like paganism. And how it's evil. I don't really understand how friendship is evil, but okay. If anyone is posting comments that are saying nothing is wrong with playing this game and calling themselves Christian, they are either new Christians, ignorant, rebellious, being used of the devil, or a witch who is trying to sway parts of the body to learn about witchcraft. This game has nothing to do about witchcraft. How do you get monsters onto the playing field? Answer, you must summon them from the dark world. What'd you get that? Some monsters are based on like fairies and angels and stuff. I've got a whole deck based on angels and stuff. In many dark religions and in witchcraft, to be more powerful you must learn to summon a demon to do your bidding. However, witches don't call them demons in public. They are sometimes called angels, lightbringers, etc. The witch is called Knowledge Seeker, and some believe that they can use this knowledge to better mankind. Yu-Gi-Oh is a slim surface of witchcraft. Oh jeez, man. A bunch of scripture. We'll skip the scripture. It has nothing to do with saying spells, chanting, or anything else demonic, this guy quotes. Did I read the post wrong? Did you say that spells then said they weren't? Can't have it both ways. Which is it? Let me just clear that up for you. The spells that you're talking about, they're just an archetype of the card, right? They're not actually things you're casting by saying magical words. That's not what's happening. Can't have it both ways. Well, yes, you can, apparently. To say that it is only a card game is flirting with disaster. I would ask you get before the Lord and ask him for a word on the nature of this harmless game you're playing. Honestly, if Jesus just came down to be like, yeah, it's just a card game, there's nothing demonic about it. I like this one here, this post here. How do you have, I feel like I have to say this with bad Russian accent. How do you have spell card without spell? Is not that why they are called spell cards? Curious. Wow, this is deep. I mean, I can understand Pokemon, but Yugioh's out of hand. It's just plain dark. And I thought Yugi died down. Yugi never dies. I haven't heard anything about him for a year or more. It's probably because I could care less. I like this one. He quotes kind of a funny one here. He goes, I think it's silly to argue over perceived demons in a card game. Why look for demons in a fantasy when you can find them in the real world? I prefer to fight demons that are like abortion, child abuse, drug abuse, pornography, false religions. Oh, what gives you the authority to say one religion is false over another? But anyway, so then are you saying that the demons as described in the Bible are fantasy? Or that people who God loved enough to die for are actually the demons? The above examples are not demons as much as choices that we as human beings make. Yeah, that's pretty... I don't even know what the rest of that sentence is, but whatever. In this post, sorry you misunderstood me. No, I do not allow Yugioh, doesn't know how to spell it, Harry Potter, or even Narnia and Lord of the Rings in my house. Oh my god, no fun in my house, no imagination, screw you. God only, Jesus man. I totally agree with you. I was simply dispelling the myths that witches manipulate people and they know that they are playing with demons. I am an ex-witch. I co-run a site for ex-witches. Ex-witches, okay. I run my own site for ex-witches. I am also a moderator on another board moderating the occult section of that board. Never would I say that doing this or being a witch is anything but against God. I am simply stating that witches need salvation as well. They are deceived and do not understand the danger and evil that they are dealing with. I am also against those claiming to be Christian witches. So this guy apparently got into an argument with somebody else about which movies are evil from this Yu-Gi-Oh thread. He goes, you would tell your children not to watch The Wizard of Oz or A Christmas Carol because they're evil? You would actually say The Wizard of Oz and Christmas Carol are evil. Pretty sure that they teach against evil. I mean, the morals of those stories are to like be good people. So if be a good person is evil, then I don't know. This is not a thing I'd want to be raveled up in, to be honest. This is just I don't even understand this one here. Here's a little story about the imagination. Last night I was getting ready for bed. The TV was on and I heard this talk between two guys talking about how great this girl's you-know-whats look like. And then they started to attack her and she kept yelling and telling them to stop. And I was walking into the room, I saw it was kind of like a cartoon, but Barbie dolls were being used. One guy said, kids don't do drugs. In the next scene, Jesus is standing at the table during the Last Supper and someone throws a tomato and hits Jesus in the head. That actually sounds kind of funny, to be honest. Man, I wonder whose imagination that was. Sounds like Adult Swim, to be honest. That was actually Robot Chicken. The imagination belongs to Seth Green and whoever else works on the show Robot Chicken. You are watching Adult Swim, and the channel is on Cartoon Network. It's called Adult Swim for a reason, and it's on late at night for the same reason. I called it. I knew it. It was probably Robot Chicken. Yes. Sorry to be rude, but give me a break. I wonder what fiction Hitler read to become what he became. Are all the gang members in the country reading novels like The Wizard of Oz to make them want to kill each other? Saying that Dick Cheney accidentally shot his friend because he watched Looney Tunes is ridiculous. Why aren't parents taking any responsibility for their children? Why are they so quick to blame cartoons? Blaming cartoons is a cop-out, and we all know it. So, I think at this point we've pretty much derailed everything. They're not even talking about Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. Let's see if I can find another thing about Yu-Gi-Oh. But I think it pretty much devolved into what exactly evil means. They, in and of themselves, are not evil, though they can be used for vehicles of such. I mean, if I picked up a hammer on its own is not evil, but if I pick it up and whip it at somebody, yeah, it's probably evil. But no, it's not the object that's evil. The object is just what I used to be evil. When I said that inanimate objects can be vehicles for evil, I did not mean that they cause us to sin. I meant that they can be means of temptation in a time of weakness, which is very different. Again, not the object's fault, your fault. Your fault for being weak. Oh, we're getting back on track. On the last fucking page of this thread, we're getting back on track here. I believe this is supposed to be referring to, you compare playing Yugioh to Pharaoh's priest summoning a serpent. I see one flaw in that argument. The priest actually summoned a serpent. Arguably, that he actually summoned a serpent. I don't even believe it existed, but whatever. Kids who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Have not and will never summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon or any creatures printed on the cards. They will never do that because the game isn't real. You aren't really casting spells, you aren't really worshipping any Dark Lord. Although there isn't a Dark Lord I know of to worship in Yu-Gi-Oh! There is, actually, but put up a picture of Belial, why not? The instructions don't say give your soul to Satan and sacrifice one lamb to summon this creature. It'll say something like put down this card, and then you can put down that card. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is as satanic as a game of dominoes. This isn't a form of magical wonder, this is a form of cards based on a physical rule set. There is nothing supernatural going on during the game, you aren't meditating before putting down a card. Things like tarot cards and Ouija boards rely on getting power from a source outside of God, but even these things are fake and never work. I repeat, never work. Finally, somebody that makes sense in this world. The problem with Ouija boards and tarot cards is that you're praying to Satan for the powers. You've lost me, man. Satan never answers the prayers, otherwise these items would actually work. Now you won me back again. Like any other game, Monopoly, chess, go. Let's go. Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards just go by the game's rules and not some supernatural source. Yes. Thank you. Word of reason in this terrible forums that happened 10 years ago. But what's going on here? So is Dungeons and Dragons, so is Ouija. I guess it's Ouija board. Please explain all the suicides that follow the playing of these games. Let me tell you what happened about the suicides of playing this game. People like you decided it was better to shame these people than to stop and to trying to make them stop playing the game. When they decided that, hey, I don't really want to be bossed around and stuff like that, and I just want to play this game and have fun and whatever, they couldn't, and they killed themselves. What I'm saying basically is that you shaming and guilting people, nerds, whatever, caused them to kill themselves. You're one of those people. You are one of those people that created Mazes and Monsters. Yeah, that's one of those propaganda movies where, if you use your imagination in a game, it's bad and you're going to hell and you can't distinguish the difference between, reality and fake. You are the problem with this world, not me, or people that play video games, or people that play tabletop games, Dungeons and Dragons, or whatever. You are the problem, not them. Not to say that nobody ever took D&D too seriously. Apparently some people do, but then again, people have tried to fly, jump off the hoods of cars, and various other nonsense after watching superhero television shows Again, that's all like mental illness and escapism, if anything. And that's pretty much it for this thread. There's really nothing else to go on here. It took like a huge derailment off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Into what actually is evil and what constitutes being evil and all that stuff. I thank you all for watching. Here's the end card. Alright, time for your everyday end slate begging. Please, if you liked the video, go ahead and like that video. Push that like button. Do it. Do it. If you want to see more from my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It's nice and big in the video there, and it's an annotation, so you can always click on it, and you know, you can subscribe to me. And then I'm trying to make more videos, so we're going to try to be a little bit more constant in things that I do, because I have more time now. But anyway, what you see on the top left there is the, I don't know what to call that really. It's like the thumbnail for the last video I did that I actually put some work in. It was a review of Shock Troopers. I really like that game. Go ahead and click on that. Give that a watch, because that's really nice. You know what I'll do? I'll also put a little, what do you call it? An info card on the top right corner of the screen there. If you click on that, the mobile viewers can watch it too. Check that out. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.